have no upside in having this conversation, in speaking out against Donald Trump. You are making yourself a target. The interview will air, and he will immediately find a reason to talk bad about you in public.
Yeah.
But you're choosing to use your platform to do so. What do you say to other celebrities who don't want to alienate part of their fan base, don't want to step in harm's way, but they have similar megaphones that you do?
So Robert De Niro just did an interview with MSNBC, which I'm going to show you more of in just a second. But it's causing quite a stir with the MAGA Republicans. Now, De Niro, as you probably know, is no fan of Trump. He's called him a criminal, a mob boss, a gangster, a thug, basically everything he actually is. But this interview, he went a little bit further and made some historical analogies that bad faith Republicans say is an insult to everyone who survived and fought in World War II.
You know, the idea to be bullied at my age by someone like this is not happening.
I'm pretty sure you were never bullied.
No, there was a kid sometime this, that, but the point is not, and for the country, no. And I think other people are going to have to stand up and just, because it's either that or you're going to find yourself in a situation that's so terrifying. We always hear about people from Eastern Europe, the Jews from other parts of Eastern Europe, from Western Europe, coming over. Look what happened in France with the Nazis and so on. And they come over, and you hear these, and when I was a kid, they'd say, "You don't really appreciate this country. You don't really appreciate what we know from experience." Imagine what those people went through. I'm just starting to see it. You know, as a kid, I said Hitler, it's a nightmare that never would happen. But now I see that it's possible. And but those people, and sometimes I run into some people who are close to my age who are from Eastern Europe, European countries, or even Nazi Germany, and you understand it.
Now we hear this a lot. Some Democrats making the comparison of Trump to Hitler, and then Republicans and even some Democrats saying, look, you can say what you want about the former president. You can call him an aspiring authoritarian, call him a jerk, but don't insult the victims and the memories of those who died in World War II. And while I understand those people, and I empathize with their point of view, I am Jewish. I'm pulling out my Jewish card. I have close family and friends who fled Eastern Europe over anti-Semitism. These people are missing the plot. And the comparison isn't only apt for reasons like Hitler said immigrants were poisoning the blood of the German people.
You know, when they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
Or that Hitler not only called the media fake news on a daily basis, but also said they were actually the enemy of the German people.
You are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Or that Hitler said that he and he alone could fix the situation in Germany.
I alone can fix it.
But it actually goes a little bit deeper than that. John Kelly, Trump's own chief of staff, said that Trump made multiple comments on multiple occasions about all the good things that Hitler did for Germany. And as our friend and brother T-Pain pointed out, what's the bedtime reading that Trump did while married to his first wife?
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book.
Ain't that reassuring, Christians? Trump has so many Bibles, and heck, it's his favorite book. Don't it give you a warm feeling deep down to know how important it is to him? After a long night of hate tweeting, Trump likes to nourish himself on a chapter or two from the Book of Life, along with 2 Big Macs and a bucket of chicken. Now, truth be told, the Bible is so important to Donald Trump that he keeps a copy of it by his bedside table.
Let's rewind all the way back to 1990 when Vanity Fair reported that Trump's former wife, the late Ivana Trump, had told her lawyer that Donald Trump occasionally read from a book of Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, which he supposedly kept in a cabinet by his bed. And a friend of Trump told the magazine on the record that he had given Trump the book, saying he thought Trump would find it interesting.
Hitler's speeches, Bible, it's close enough for MAGA.
So spare me the outrage over the form of these accusations. You've got a guy in Trump who doesn't even read. All he does is watch TV and tweet, But the one thing he did take time to read was Hitler's speeches. I mean, seriously, he doesn't read anything. He's a couch potato who watches TV and retweets QAnon on Truth Social all day. And now a lot of people will say to this, well, his wife was getting a divorce when she said that, so how can we believe her? How can we believe her? Every time the guy opens up his mouth, he sounds like Hitler. The press are the enemy of the people. Immigrants are poisoning the blood of America. I alone can fix it. And not just saying these things once, but every time he opens his spray-tanned mouth, he repeats his lies over and over and over again. And just like Goebbels used to say, repeat a lie enough and eventually people will come to believe it. And Trump has actually said that too. Multiple of his former advisors and staff members have said that much, that he instructs them to lie. And when they push back, he goes, well, just say it and they'll believe it. And that's pretty credible because that's all he does. Repeat absurdity after absurdity until these sheep that follow him believe what he's saying. And it's working. His supporters believe him more than any other source of information they have. A recent poll found that Trump supporters, and this is insane, on average, believe Trump more than their own family members. He's their most trusted source of information. Seriously, Trump is 40% of America's most trusted source of information. We are in trouble. That's not only insane, it is dangerous. Because he's a narcissistic sociopath who is only getting worse because of his rapidly declining mental state.
But also we see a deterioration in behavior. So it's hard to believe. I always say this to people, look at Donald Trump today, because that's the best Donald Trump you're ever going to see. Because the nature of this illness is it's deteriorating. Okay, so every day is worse than the last. And one of the things that dementia does to people with bad personality disorders is it makes the personality disorders 10 times worse. So he's going to be everything he is, but more erratic and irrational and impulsive and confused and just sort of randomly vicious. And now we're noticing deterioration almost every day. Okay, so the rate of deterioration is increasing. And at a certain point, people fall off what they call the cognitive cliff, where they really just become totally disabled. And I honestly believe that if Trump were to get reelected, that he would become completely incapacitated in office.
Now, that was John Gardner, a top psychologist from Johns Hopkins and the founder of Duty to Warn, a collective of psychologists warning about Trump's mental diagnoses, mainly as a narcissistic sociopath who we've had on this channel before, who is likely going to be doing a weekly show with us, which you should definitely watch, on just how bad Trump's mental decline really is. And what the experts are saying, based on where Trump is and how quickly he's going insane, is that this is the best Donald Trump we're going to get. This psychopath who's crazier than anyone we've ever seen run for office in this country's history, he's at his best. I mean, how much more do you need to see to get off your ass and get to the polls to prevent this madman from leading the most powerful country on earth?
Did you ever care this much about politics?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm sort of not indifferent, but but I'm so angry about what's going on. I don't see how it can be avoided.
And that's what the real point of these comparisons are. For everyone who's been on the sidelines or thinking of staying on the sidelines, who thinks, you know what? What's happened in other countries across the world since the beginning of time, it can't happen here. It can happen here. And how does it happen? People get more outraged by comparisons made by Robert Deniro than the actual reasons he made the comparison and why he's so outraged. You should be outraged. I'm outraged. This whole situation is outrageous. We've got to stop this guy and his movement immediately. And if you don't understand that, you probably need some help. So go seek help. With Really American, I'm Justin Horwitz. We've got a ton planned going into this election, and we really cannot do it without you. So be sure to like, subscribe, and set notifications. This is going to be an election where we simply need all hands on deck. So let's get to it. Thanks.